code, as well as I believe their jungler has changed up as well. Homemade Pancakes, love that name, playing as the jungler for the Fire Ferrets, and Hash Code from the mid lane has now switched to a top lane role. Going to be playing up there, and we'll see if Kled banks it through the picks and bans, as he was a huge part of the reason why Fire Ferrets won that first game. But the real question is, King Kong Gun's Jhin, 15-0-5, crushing it in the first game. Will he get Jhin this time around? Instead, it's a Teemo ban for the first ban out of Degenerate 5.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see Jhin banned away from one side or the other. He's just a crazy good pick. Or in the early game, he's like, his super early laning phase is pretty good depending on the starting item. But his late game, which was the main thing that that Jhin has been struggling with for the longest time, not being able to out carry people. With the new itemization with Rage Blade, it really allows him to turn into something of a hyper carry into the late game, or at least keep up with other hyper carries, 2 or 3 shotting people. Whereas, you know, the more I think about it, everybody's talking about how broken it is, and it looks that way. But the more I think about it, the more it puts him on par with other late game carries. I mean, Caitlyn can 2-shot 80 carries in the late game, and she has like 2.0 attack speed with her fiddle, so I mean,
This is true.
I don't, and Riot seems to think the same thing, because they didn't actually change it in the current patch notes. So I'm excited that my favorite ADC is actually playable again. Anyway. So, Aatrox and Ryze banned away. Obviously, somebody watched the first game and saw Prankuru on that Aatrox absolutely dominating the top lane. Similarly, the Swain banned away, as well as the Kai'Sa taken away as well. So it looks like Pixel Bleach is being targeted and Prankuru. Though we haven't seen the Ryze before, we can only expect that Xanion likes to play Ryze. So all of those picks look like targeted bans to her, and Lee Sin going to be the first grab. Most likely Xyle Flame going to be taking that into the jungle, as we've seen him jungle on the last 2 games. 4 seconds to lock in, and it is going to be the Ezreal. Not the best meta for Ezreal right now. Certainly not something that I would think to take a first pick or a first few picks, and definitely secure a stronger AD pick if they were going to use a priority, Caitlyn or
even the Jhin that did so well previously. But
yeah,
the one thing about Ezreal is that he is a safe first pick ADC before the enemy team has the opportunity to pick the ADC, because he is, just as we talked about last week, very, very safe. Hard to truly engage upon because he has the Arcane Shift to get away. He always does decently. He's never able to truly 100% take over a game, but at the same time, he never really falls off either. He just does a decent, safe job. Homemade Pancakes, speaking of the Volibear, super, super tank. We've seen Volibears. They can sometimes take over a game, especially with the electricity-empowered bite attacks, doing massive damage, and that passive that's constantly regenning once they get low enough. And we have the Yasuo coming out from Xyle Flame. First time that he's played, as he has been pretty much banned quite heavily in the last week, was banned twice in those games.
Yeah, so Orin picked up for the 2nd game in a row, though we had nobody on Degenerate 5, or rather Fire Ferrets, has played the Orin, or I don't believe we've seen them play it on stream yet, but Orin took over the game last time from a losing perspective, so to speak. He did the most damage on that team, so looking forward to see a well-played Orin in the top lane. Currently, we're seeing pinches onto the Varus. Once again, not that highly contested of a pick. Is a lane bully, but not the strongest ADC. I'm very surprised they didn't ban out Caitlyn or Xayah. Okay, and the Kog'Maw. interesting bans, not the ones that you would expect to be pinched, leaving a couple of the very, very strong picks on the table for Pixel Bleach and Renduri to pick up in the bot lane. And the Janna is taken away. And it's possible this Ezreal could be a flex pick to the jungle. I doubt it. And the Echo is going to be locked in from the mid lane, most likely going to be matching up into that Yasuo. Any thoughts on what's going to happen?
Yeah, I'm trying to look through some of the picks out from the other teams as well. One of the things from the Degenerate 5 is that they could have a Thresh pick for that bottom lane support role, or the Nautilus could trade over and play in that support role. We've seen him very similar to the Thresh. Renduri obviously comfortable. It was actually Avidity that played him 2 games ago. I apologize on that. Pixel Bleach picking up the LeBlanc, and they're running a non-ADC comp this game as well, as I'm just going to let them pick their slots before we talk about where they could possibly be going for that.
Okay, then. Yeah, Reeves, that's exactly what I mean. He doesn't scale well because the poke doesn't affect the front line, as you said. And the thing is that he's in a straight front-to-back 5v5 team fight. If the tanks engage, Ezreal is not going to be able to shred the front line as quickly as something like a Caitlyn Xayah, insert random hyper carry that you want to talk about here, that unless he has an opportunity, an extended opportunity to land Qs onto the back line, then he's just not going to be able to carry as hard if you're against an equal skill opponent who also has some idea of how to dodge skill shots. Anyway, so it's looking like Orange support, Ezreal 80. What is going on? You've got Pixel Bleach on Yasuo with the Nautilus. The level 6 engage potential is absolutely terrifying, though, because Nautilus can just press R and give Yasuo free engage onto one or both. So definitely looking for King Kong Gun to harass down Pixel Bleach before level 6, because after that, they're really just going to have to hide underneath their towers.
Yeah, this is really fascinating, but let's go ahead and roll through the players and their champions real quick. So for Degenerate 5, we've got Prank Guru taking the Nasus in the top lane, Xyle Flame with the Lee Sin in the jungle, Xeneon, once again, LeBlanc in the mid lane, Pixel Bleach with the Yasuo bottom lane, Cheese 80 carry, and Renduri on the Nautilus bottom lane support, taking that aggressive Ignite.
And for Fire Ferrets, it looks like Hashcode's going to be picking up Alawi in the top lane, Homemade Pancakes on Bear in the jungle, Dusab on Echo in the mid lane, King Kong Gun taking Ezreal in the bottom lane ADC role, and Gerbil on Orin in the support role.
Yeah, so one of the interesting things is that Yasuo, with that wind wall, as long as he places it right anytime Ezreal decides to go aggressive, he should be able to avoid a lot of those auto attacks that are going to be flying in, especially the ultimate flying through. However, with that Ornn support in the bottom lane for the Fire Ferrets, that's going to change things up a little bit, in that he's able to, as we saw in the last game, output a bit of damage as well as carry some decent CC in that bottom lane. But it's really hard to say. I'd still give it over to Fire Ferrets for their overall composition. But there's potential with the Nasus and LeBlanc, even the late game Yasuo, to potentially pull a win.
The thing is that with the Yasuo, he doesn't have a lot. Like, Yasuo typically wants to dive in and kill a target relatively quickly with his ultimate, but he doesn't have a lot of good targets for that. Orin, super tanky. Bear, super tanky. Alawi, getting close and dueling Alawi, not always the best idea if you like your health. Ezreal's really the only target because Echo has the ultimate. So I don't know about this Yasuo pick. In laning phase, when Nautilus can straight up press R on level 6 and give free engage over the ADC, theoretically it's pretty good, but scaling into the late game, I don't know how that's going to work unless he's super fed. Alawi Nasus, I should be Alawi favored in the early games, moving toward Nasus favored unless he's denied a lot of CS. Volibear will clearly be able to outduel Lee Sin in the early stages with his passive, and especially once he gets some tank items under his belt, he'll really be able to beat Lee Sin in a team fight. However, Lee Sin has better gank presence and better clear speed. So, yeah, I would definitely want to give this one over to the Fire Ferrets simply because they have a more traditional composition, easier to execute on. Vulcan echoes something of a skill matchup here. A lot of mobility, and whoever gets the first couple of kills is probably going to run away with the lane, is how you usually see assassin match go. Any thoughts on compositions, Jake?
I mean, that's what we've talked about. One of the things I noted with the Lee Sin is that there really isn't anyone on the side of Fire Ferrets that if I were playing Lee Sin, I would be thrilled about kicking into my team. I mean, you're looking across the board at an Alawi who loves the group fights, throws down the ultimate, tentacles smashing everywhere. Volibear, who's also going to be throwing down the ultimate, electricity slamming everywhere. Echo, who, yeah, okay, he dashes away and then ults back into your full team, doing massive amounts of damage. You've got Ornn, who just throws down the Call of the Forge God, tanks up enough damage for him to knock up everybody and allow the rest of his team to deal damage. So across the board, there isn't, other than that Ezreal, who's just so hard to stick a landing on because of that arcane shift. There really isn't anyone that you're going to want to insect back into the team. So that's the question. What is he going to do when it comes to these ganks? Or is it just going to be all about the damage and trying to output enough of an attack that and get it down before the Fire Ferrets can respond?
Of course, if Prankuru pulls off the similar type thing, of course they have to be careful of this invade. They're not set up to see this. And wait, Ornn is going to spot them out and quickly has to blow his flash. I'm expecting to see a lot of ganks moving toward the top side now. Or no, wait, it's bot side. I keep thinking Ornn is top. No, but what was I going to say?
That early flash from Gerbil forcing his, from the blue team Degenerate 5 means that there is potential from that Lee Sin to gank into the bottom lane and abuse the fact that the flash is down. However, the thing to keep in mind is that those ignites did get buffed, and so Gerbil still has his ignite, and Lee Sin, especially very early into the game, can be a squishy target unless he's able to get those shields down properly. And so there's some dangerousness for Xyleflame to gank in the bottom lane and potentially give a kill back over to the other team.
Yeah, only if he goes under turret. Lee Sin deals a lot of burst damage. Now, of course, the question is going to be whether or not Yasuo can get on and assist the gank. He's not a ranged champion. It's going to be interesting all around. I'm looking to see if Prankuru can take over the lane like he did in the last game. He can definitely be a power point for the side.
Prankuru is coming in, getting good damage onto Hashcode in the mid lane. Level 2 gank from the Lee Sin. Xyleflame puts Dorsub very low. However, the Ezreal is just able to walk away, forced to use those health potions to try to heal himself back up as Lee Sin heads back into the jungle. A little bit of emote spam in the bottom lane.
Yeah, this is such a weird lane. Ezreal really just needs to be auto-attack harassing onto his opponent right now. The level 2 comes in at an even point, and yeah, it's going to be straight up fighting now.
Oh, yeah, Gerbil doing good damage. Renduri with the Ignite taking away. Ezreal poking down. First blood goes to that Ignite onto the Ornn. Gerbil picking up that kill. We saw him pop off on the Alistar. We'll see if he can manage to do that on the Ornn. Flash forced out from Xeneon in the mid lane as Volibear able to find him running through the jungle in the top lane. Dosob looking for a gank onto the Nasus as both teams very quick to start roaming around the map and making some of these plays. In the bottom lane, the Yasuo just 1v1ing the dancing Ornn.
Yeah, the first blood going over to the Ezreal to the traditional ADC lane is definitely what you want to be seeing if you're on the team with the traditional ADC. Because hold on, it looks like a gank coming in from Homemade Pancakes.
Yeah, Homemade Pancakes coming in, gonna get some good damage down with that red buff flashing and throws the Nasus back. Hashcode making credit for the kill. No, the Volibear sneaks it away and gets kills on that one. Second kill to Fire Ferrets. They are looking for a revenge from the last time these two teams met up. and they're doing it well so far. However, Yasuo going in, looking for a little bit of damage onto Ezreal, forces the Arcane Shift backwards, and that's probably going to be a regular sight to see.
Yeah, basically there are patterns to lanes as you're playing them, and the pattern to a Yasuo lane is you can play forward and auto attack harass on the first 2 Qs, and when he procs the 3rd Q onto a minion and gets that knock-up tornado potential, you just back off and allow him to play aggressively forward. If you just follow that, you'll be fine. And it looks like a little bit of an engage in the bot lane.
Yeah, Gerbil going in, getting some good damage down, but not going to be quite enough. A nice Nasus pull, pulls the Ornn back in, a little bit of an auto attack to stun up the Ornn for just a moment. Ezreal safely farming off to the side, still staying competent when it comes to the minions in the mid lane, trying to snare up. Dosab may get it, and the Echo gets the stun down onto the Lee Sin, dashes his way to safety. Very low health, but a nice play, good positioning for that shield stun. And King Kong in the bottom lane, taking pretty good harass.
Yeah, also running low on mana with the bigger concern here. The harass, he can go back pretty soon. He's almost on tier money anyway, so he'd want to head back anyway. So taking a little bit of auto attack, the worst thing in the world, as long as he manages to keep up with minions. He doesn't have to crush the Yasuo in lane. All he needs to do is get himself farm, and despite being Ezreal, he will outscale Yasuo just by virtue of being a ranged carry.
Yep, Tentacles down in the top lane. Hashko getting some pretty good damage down onto Nasus, forcing him back. Junglers have found each other. Xyleflame in trouble. However, Homemade Pancake's now in trouble as Xyleflame gets the shield, able to walk away with very little health. In the top lane, the Nasus goes down as Homemade Pancake's still alive because of the regen. Blast goes himself over the wall, and that's the bite! A beautiful play by Homemade Pancakes in this bottom jungle. Finds the Blast Cone, says, I see where you're going, Lee Sin. I'll take that kill. And then Blast Cones himself over the Dragon Pit to safety for a moment. Xenon gets the chain. Will it be enough, though? The knockback fear from the Volibear, and Homemade Pancakes knocks a home run into Degenerate 5's jungler.
I love pancakes. I just felt like saying that. Anyway, that jungler's name is Making Hungry, and apparently the Volibear is hungry, taking a big bite out of the enemy scoreline, and it looks like, yes, Ezreal did take that moment to go back, cash in, and grab himself a tier and start stacking that up. He did go the Kleptomancy build, so he is going to be probably ahead in gold of his opposite number, but unfortunately didn't take time to manicure the wave beforehand and get it into the opposing tower. Pixel Bleach using that wind wall, the most annoying skill in the game, in my personal opinion. Looks like a little bit of trading in toward the top lane, but nothing too important happening up there at the moment. You've got level 6s, and hold on a second, it looks like, yeah, Bramble Vest start on the Nasus. That's so important because Alawi does so much healing with her passive. As soon as the auto attack comes through, though, it's going to be denying all of that healing out of the Alawi. So definitely a good pickup first from Prankuru.
But she is farming pretty well. She's about 15 farm up on the Nasus, and we'll continue to slowly stack that as she's able to have a little bit more range impact than the Nasus himself. But still doing nicely for herself in the top lane. About 2,000 gold in the lead. The Fire Ferrets have a strong hand. Now, again, the last time these two teams met, Degenerate 5 were the victors of the finals in Series 1. But with the Yasuo pick in the bottom lane, changing things up, Degenerate 5 are a little slow to get this game rolling. Lee Sin around the corner, lands the Sonic Wave, Resonating Strike, unnecessary, ult down. It might be enough, not going to though. Hash code does go down. Xyleflame, low health, but not out of it. Double buffs onto the kick from the Volibear. kind of baits him back in with the shield, though. Flame now just onto the outskirts, waiting for an opportunity to land another Sonic Wave. The double buffs on Homemade Pancakes, though, getting him safely back. He does get a little bit of a fear. Not quite docked into tower range. The flash, the Q, Volibear's insane! He does get shut down from the Nasus, though. Teleport in from the Alawi. Echo's here as well, going to land the stun. The flash from Nasus keeps him alive over a very hard to flash wall. There is around the corner. His teammate, just kidding, that was LeBlanc's clone who did not make it up. And Prankuru will go down. Echo getting credit for that kill as the dead Volibear sneaks an assist.
Yeah, it's level 6 from Pixel Bleach in the bot lane. I'm expecting to see an all-in as soon. Yes, here's the tick to 6.
Oh, the Ornn goes in, trying to get a little bit knock up. Nautilus finds it. That's going to be the last breath. Only lands onto the Ornn. Ignite taking away. They are going to pick up the support for the Fire Ferrets. And now backing off, potentially heading towards that Drake. However, they didn't find the Ezreal. They got the support enough, though. Nice stun down onto LeBlanc in the mid lane. Neon in a bit of trouble, but Dosob, with the double buffs, though, ticking away. Might not be able to get out alive, but it looks like LeBlanc is going to turn off the chase.
Yeah, and he did have ultimate up. That whole never going down. I was almost expecting him to ult out and try and manage to get a damage and an all-in onto Xanion, as he was fairly low mana and did not have distortion up. Also, an interesting matchup note is that every time a Nasus clears one of the tentacles with his Q, he gets another stack of his passive. So Alawi tentacles just gift him over more stacks.
More stacks in the top lane. Appreciate that to the Alawi, as he's going to continue to build up. Lee Sin comes in, though. Echo, nice ultimate, keeps himself from getting the damage down. The ult from Lee Sin, Dragon Rage, going to kick the Echo off to the side, but not kill him. Homemade Pancakes will take the kill, though. A nice little toss back, throw over the shoulder, and says, I think you'll be my lunch for today.
Volibear really starting to take over things, and Hashcode going all in with the ultimate. And
yeah.
Hold on for
Get some good damage onto Prankuru. He's throwing out the ultimate as well, which Slam is going to finish it off, and Hashcode gets the final word, and Nasus is going to fall into the top lane. The Black Cleaver from Alawi coming through, giving both the health and the last bit of damage necessary to finish him off, as Nasus is still sitting on just a couple of pieces. In the bottom lane, the farm's still even between these two AD carries on the Yasuo side. But Phantom Dancer finished for the Yasuo, so he's going to have that extra attack speed.
Really good trade out of Dusab in the mid lane. Gerbil trying to go all in. It looks like an all-in into the bot lane.
Yeah, some pretty good damage, but Gerbil on the run starts the ultimate, going to be knocking it backwards, only finds the Nautilus. Ezreal comes through as well, just dealing a little bit of damage. But Wind Wall's still available for the Yasuo if he decides to use it. In a minute, he is going to go in on the Ezreal. Last breath as well. Nautilus ult coming through. Going to knock up Ornn on the way through. However, King Kong Gun has the damage down. Ignite onto Pixel Bleach as well. He's dashing through minions. Uses the heal as well. Not quite getting out alive yet. Flame in the bottom lane is going to... Sorry. Across the map. Going to find the Lee Sin. Supportal combat.
Fight.
I'm going to put it in Norn's hands, especially from what we saw last game. Trying to get the brittle stacks down onto the Nautilus. Does get some pretty good damage. Doesn't quite slam Renduri into the wall. The shield is down on the Nautilus. However, Ornn is now out of mana. Minion damage is real. The shield is just huge from Renduri. There's the brittle stacks as well. Gerbil gets his own shield. Looks like both supports will call it a day in the bottom lane. We had fun. The time to back out, as now 10 kills to 4. The Fire Ferrets still heavily in the lead.
Yeah, Xanion getting hit with the distortion. He's going to distort back out of tower range, and nothing's going to come of that.
Nope, he's going to flash the wall and actually survive. Beautiful play from Xanion, though Dosob is around the corner, but there is the Lee Sin, as well as the Yasuo here to help out, take down the Volibear, cleaning Homemade Pancakes up from the mid lane. Echo decides to wisely back off of that one. Once again, the battle of the tanks in the top lane. Hashcode does have the ultimate, so does Nasus, but instead he's going to back up to his turret and just keep farming his Q. Echo looking for an opportunity to jump over the wall, but Lee Sin's going to find him. Doesn't matter, he's already cleaned up the little block. Dosob on the run, does have his ultimate to get out if he decides to use it, and may have to in a moment. He does ult backwards, but only finds the Lee Sin, who's been waiting by his shadow the whole time, and cleans up another kill for the Fire Ferrets. No, that was actually for Degenerate 5. I apologize.
Definitely a clever play there by Xyle Flame, recognizing that Echo was going to try and use the shadow to escape. And he does, and then ends up taking a Sonic Wave to the face. Prankuru taking a little bit of damage now.
There's the ultimate from Hashcode, getting a bit of damage just onto the Spirit from Prankuru, who's going to clear up these tentacles. However, he is low health. Hashcode using a flash in, but the ultimate bait from Prankuru underneath the turret as well. Hashcode's just outside of the turret damage. One more Q from Prankuru is going to do it. Beautiful play. The bait pulling Alawi in, gets the kill, and now oh! Whoa! Alawi with the backline tentacle throws down the slam. The Nasus falls 1-for-1 in the top lane. That was awesome.
Feels bad, man. Pixel Bleach probably gonna, no, it looks like Orin going to be caught out 3v1 in the top lane. Is he gonna use the Blast Cone? He is.
Gets safely over the wall. Sonic Wave not going to land. Xyle Flame chases with the ward, but just finds his own doom as Ezreal picks him up. Now the Ornn ult has been started, slowing several members down. The Echo falls. LeBlanc here to clean up one, but Volibear's here to turn the tides around. Cleans up the Yasuo of his own. The teleport in from the Nasus right into 3. Nice knockup from Gerbil just on the clone of LeBlanc, though. In the meantime, the healing from Volibear is huge. He's tanking up massive. Renduri tries to get out, but he's so slow. The tentacles from Alawi are starting to spawn. Renduri gonna go down. Volibear flashing in just for the final bite, and that's gonna be the tentacle slams onto Prankuru, who's trying to clear up the tentacles before he gets taken down. He has the red buff. Xeneon trying to get out as well, and it looks like at the end of the day, Fire Ferrets come out at, I believe, 2-for-3 advantage.
That was a battle all throughout the bot lane. That a clutch teleport by Nasus in from the top lane right there really turned things around, because Ezreal was dealing tons of damage. Hold on, we got a little bit of a fight, but nothing gonna come.
LeBlanc slippery. That's all. Oh, she goes back in. Nice! Xeneon with a clean kill goes back in when the members of Fire Ferrets expected the fight to be over. And instead just distorts back in to pick up an extra kill. Pixel Bleach going in onto Dosob, just playing around, and cleans up the minions instead of a full engage. That constant play back and forth.
Yeah, LeBlanc has been roaming so much. It's unfortunate that Dosob has not managed to gain a larger CS lead in the middle lane. However, managing to clean up a few minions for himself, and Renduri probably going to pick up as much CS as he can in the mid lane before the LeBlanc gets back. Prankuru taking a little bit of harass, but nothing major. It's semi-carry matchups at this point. Prankuru playing the Nasus, and it looks like there's going to be a gank.
Yeah, Xyle Flame coming around the corner once again. Nice kick, sends Hashcode right to his own doom with a nice Q from the Nasus. Wither as well, slowing down those auto attacks from Hashcode, unable to get the damage down for the heals from those tentacles. And instead pushing in onto the turret. But in the meantime, it's the Nautilus support from Degenerate 5 going to be cleaned up here. King Kong coming in for the damage. Nice flash from the Nautilus, keeps him alive for the moment. Dosob continuing to chase in, but LeBlanc is there on the Xeneon. Nice ultimate from the Orange, a little bit of knockup. However, LeBlanc was able to clean up Echo with huge burst damage. Prankuru underneath turret as Homemade Pancakes defends the turret. Can they get this? Nice last breath from Yasuo, finishes off the Ezreal, and now takes out Ornn. LeBlanc getting credit for that kill, as we are 14 kills to 15 in this game. Bloody everywhere. Homemade Pancakes goes in, trying to finish off Xyle Flame. The flash used, but the red buff is there with the bite. The Volibear just coming up massive, 7-3-2 this game.
Yeah, incredibly disrespectful from Xyle Flame right there. He landed a Q out of the minion, did the whole, watch this, I'm gonna troll and make him think he's going in. You know, you dash, and in the process of the dash, you dash out, but with the W. But unfortunately, the problem that happens there is then you don't have your W to like jump to a ward or something.
Escape.
And Volibear recognizes that and instantly goes all in and not only gets the kill, but also blows Xyle Flame's flash. There's not going to be any flash tick plays to be had in the next 5 minutes. King Kong Gun, this is where I really wish he was playing more of a scaling AD carry. He's doing decent enough for himself. He has died 3 times, but dished out a good amount of damage while doing it in these little skimmer fights. But if you were playing, if you were playing a stronger late game AD carry, probably even better somebody who could.
Oh, Dosaw may be in trouble as LeBlanc just gonna burst him down. He can't do anything. Locked up for that entire engage, and Xeneon plays the spells perfectly. That's going to give another kill over to Degenerate 5 as the homemade pancakes goes in, getting a nice bite down. However, backing off for the moment. The snare going to hold him in place for a moment. Xyle Flame in the bottom lane. The flashing Ezreal doesn't matter. Last breath from Lee Sin. Sorry, from the Durable. Sorry. Just wind wall from the Yasuo, stopping the ultimate from the Ezreal. Easily picking up one as Xyle Flames in there with the red buff for the slow. The Ornn goes down. Now, the bottom lane turret doesn't have that much damage on it from Degenerate 5's side. Volibear here as well for the defense. Has the blue buff, gonna go and start the ultimate. However, maybe taking too much damage before he can get out. The passive proc doesn't matter. He goes down. Lee Sin also going to be very low health, but not quite finished off yet. King Kong Gun goes down. Hashcode in here. He's looking for all the kills. Flashes in, throws down the ultimate, picks up 2. And that's going to be huge for the Fire Ferrets as the Alawi has teleported in. Pixel Bleach might be trying, but does succeed at getting the execute.
I did not think that had been long enough to be on. But he does manage to count the seconds, get the execute down, so only gives over 2 kills. I have to give D5 massive credit for their turrets aggro swapping ability right there. The Nautilus support ends up taking turret aggro for 3 or 4 shots, and then Lee Sin takes 2 shots, jumps out of tower range, gives it over to Yasuo, and then Nautilus takes it up again at the end, managing to where all of them got really low, but nobody gave a kill. And Xeneon, massive BM in the mid lane with the emotes. The LeBlanc is online, and she's starting to one-shot people. 10 stacks on that Dark Seal right there. Just, if she turns that into a Majaya Soul Stealer, which I believe is what she's building towards, she's just going to be an absolute menace in the top lane. Hashcode looking like she's going to get caught out and taken down, most likely.
Yeah, it does have the ultimate available, but starts it, however, isn't going to have the members of the enemy team Degenerate 5 around to get the full 4, 5, 6 tentacle spawn for it, and so it is going to be taken out, and that's actually going to be the Baron started up by the Degenerate 5, which could be huge. We started the game off as Fire Ferrets was heavily in the lead, but now, homemade pancakes, the jungler here, looking for an opportunity to jump over the wall. There are wards into the pit. No, it's going to be Nasus who steals it away, despite the Baron. However, 3-man stun doesn't even matter from the Echo. He's going to be backing off as the Lee Sin going to kill the Volibear. Homemade pancakes goes down after trying to steal away the Baron.
Yeah, hold on. I'm doing a slow motion because I want to see if it is what I think it is. That
both smites went down early, and then Nasus cues the Baron to finish it off. I believe is what happened, but I may be wrong. 21 kills
no,
to 18.
It is a burn from Nasus's ultimate that takes it down.
Okay. So both smites early, and
yeah,
Nasus burn
and
claims
Nasus
it.
is about to Q it, but the damage confirms from his ultimate before the Q actually lands. That's
there you
hilarious.
go. So we started the game off. Fire Ferrets were heavily in the lead. They had a pretty good kill advantage. They had about 3,000 gold up, and now Degenerate 5, 2,000 gold in the lead. Their LeBlanc in the mid lane has come online, 5-1. Their Yasuo bottom lane, 5-3. Is the BM real? And Degenerate 5, after everything that Fire Ferrets did, Are they going to come back and win this? This massive damage to both the Echo and the Ezreal from this LeBlanc. The damage bouncing back and forth. Lee Sin finishes off the Ocean Drake. It doesn't even matter. Echo's already gone as Pixel Bleach nicely dodges some of the damage coming from the bottom lane as Volibear comes in as well. Windwall not going to do all that much. Volibear tries to get in underneath for the ultimate's real. Alawi slamming several members down, but Ornn has already fallen. Yasuo picked up on the backside. Xeneon very low health. Homemade Pancake still wants in. Doesn't matter. He's just going to trying to stop these Baron up minions from coming in. His ult has already been used, so he doesn't have the AoE anymore. And the rest of the team going to land the CC necessary to clean him up. The red buff ticking away, and Lee Sin flashes for the final kick to the back of Echo's head and cleans that one up. Middle turret also goes down. Degenerate 5 massively in the lead now. Nass is cleaning up the bottom tier inhibitor turret. Mid-tier inhibitor turret going to fall as well. Inhibitor is going to be cleaned up. Degenerate 5 probably not able to finish it off on this current chase in, but hugely in the lead and looks to be victors of this game.
Yeah, that's what I would probably say. And Frank Kuru's getting to that Nasus point where he can just destroy everything. Once again, I gotta say that if you had a better scaling ADC, it's more likely to be in a better position right now because they did have a lead in the early. But at this point, with the LeBlanc as strong as she is, and the guaranteed engage of the Yasuo, it's a little bit, and of course the inevitability of Nasus.
Oh, LeBlanc kind of trying to catch out hash code. However, she goes right back in. Doesn't even matter. Volibear here with the slows downs. Xeneon smashed off of the map as Volibear gets credit for that kill.
That is half of the stacks from LeBlanc removed, which is nice. She hasn't committed entirely for the Magi's Soul Stealer, but that was a decent amount of free AP. Hash code going in, but it looks like, well, there's not that much damage here.
Throws on the ultimate, 4 tentacles, double slams onto Rinduri, but looks like he's going to be able to dodge his way out for the moment. Just going to be slowed a little bit, as it is a Infernal Drake coming up next. Degenerate 5 trying to get some vision down there, but the push from top lane to get the last inhibitor comes down, and Alawi recalling up there is going to try to defend that second tier turret.
Ornn up top side right now, hold on. Looks like Echo's about to be engaged on.
Yeah, Dosob taking a little bit of damage, but he gets pretty good damage onto Xyle Flame as well. Decides to back off of this one as LeBlanc is around the corner. She comes into the side, dealing good damage to Dosob. However, he's going to ult himself to safety. Ornn ult comes down the middle of the lane. Not going to hit that many. Does go across the wall to knock up 3. Doesn't matter. The burn onto Echo going to be enough to take him down. And now the siege starts onto the minions. There's not that much minion wave clear. Gerbil not quite going to find the slam to knock anybody up. However, they're getting pretty good damage with these frontline takes. In the meantime, Nasus is pushing the bottom lane. Alawi, the one solo who's holding these minion waves off of the Nexus turret. Xeneon coming in from this side, looking for the engage onto the Ezreal. Immediately knocked out. Gets bursted out. Taken down. That's the mid lane carry. Yasuo ult comes through, however, the tornado comes through. The ult doesn't go down though. Chases in onto Echo. Decent damage, doesn't matter. The bite from Volibear gonna finish him off. And now Prankuru versus Hashco. We've seen this fight before. Nass is forced off of the fight for the moment as these minions are stopped from pushing through to the Nexus turrets.
Yeah, that was definitely a good fight for Fire Ferrets, but I don't know if they can keep it up. Echo, not the best scaling champion, while LeBlanc is not necessarily the best scaler either. What with being an assassin, she scales better than Echo, and it is a far superior position. 8 kills and almost 50 CS above her or 40 CS above her opposite number. Meanwhile, the CS in bot lane is relatively equal, but Yasuo is just in a better position with the amount of kills he's managed to pick up. Ezreal not being able to secure many. That's another issue I find with the champion. Being unless it's in kind of a 1v1, 2v1 scenario, it's very difficult to get the last hit onto a champion unless the kill is given over to you. Anyway,
One of the things I was going to note real quick was the fact that a lot of the members from Degenerate 5 are engage champions. They're either hyper engage or hyper disengage. LeBlanc using that distortion to go in deep before trying to get out. Lee Sin going in deep before trying to get out. Yasuo, Tornado with last breath in before trying to get out. What we saw in the top lane fight was that members of Degenerate 5 would engage, but they were going in 1v1 and they were getting bursted out. However, it's going to be Ornn who tries to catch out the LeBlanc, who's going to be bursted out, and that's one member down from the Fire Ferrets already. Baron spawning in under 30 seconds, as it is the Infernal Drake under a minute as well to spawn, and it looks like Degenerate 5 are just wanting to catch people out in this topside jungle before the Baron spawns. This does give a small amount of time for the Ornn to respawn, but Echo's already gone as well.
Yeah, that was, didn't even land the chain, just Q, and everyone dies. Prankuru in a good position behind, and it looks like Xanion is caught out briefly, but Prankuru is going to come in and turn this on its head. I'm betting that Homemade Pancakes goes down, fails the flash, and that's it.
That's all she wrote. The teleport in from the Alawi 1v2 is going to get a little bit of damage. The tentacle slams are nice onto the Nasus, but LeBlanc is dealing all of the damage. Going to be able to dodge off to the side. Nice Ornn ultimate, though. Going to slow them down. Knock up one. He actually gets kill credit on the Nasus, and the heals from Hashcode keep him alive. Lee Sin goes in, gets the kick onto the, I believe it was the Ornn or the Ezreal to get kill credit on Alawi, and then finish off the Ezreal as well. And that's 4 members down for the Fire Ferrets. Degenerate 5 able to move in now as a 3-man squad with the Baron buff. Clears the bottom lane inhibitor. They chase in onto Echo. They get the damage down. He's going to be cleared off before the stun even completely lands. And that's going to be the inhibitor Nexus turret. Sorry, 1 going down. Nexus turret 2. And this should be Degenerate 5's game after a 30-minute slugfest between these two teams.
Wow. That was a decisive end to the game.
Oh, Homemade Pancakes gets 1 more kill before the end of the game. And the Happy Cupcake finishes it off. Xyle Flame spamming that out as Degenerate 5 proves why they were the team to win the last game series. After losing early game up to 3,000 gold being behind, bringing it back to almost 10,000 gold in the lead. 8,000 was the final count of that.
Yeah.
Hashtag Degenerate 5 for the win over the Fire Ferrets, who, after a really nice start, were eventually able to be overcome by Degenerate 5 in the long route. I think heavily, would you say, due to LeBlanc starting to really snowball the mid lane.
LeBlanc and Nasus, really. Nasus managing to get a good bit of side lane pressure. I would give a good deal of credit over to Xyle Flame as well. Prankuru really starting to win his matchup in the top lane, drawing a lot of pressure top from Homemade Pancakes, who tried as much as he could, but he just couldn't bear the weight of his team. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, so Hashcode starting to lose the matchup in top lane. Apparently Conquer is really, really good on Nasus, because despite the fact that Alawi really should win trades at level 1 versus Nasus, Nasus was out trading her in the early game level 1 trades. But Volibear comes top, manages to get a couple of kills and start to get himself snowballing. But King Kong Gun in the bottom lane, things start to fall apart down there really after the first big team fight down on that side of the map. Really couldn't get himself going. While he stays even in CS, he never really manages to dish out enough damage to carry his team. Whereas, he's dealing 12,000 damage, whereas his opposite number, the melee range carry, is dealing 19, almost 20,000 damage. The hilarious thing is that Alawi did the most on her team, dealing 27,000. Volibear second at 19. and the other two carries come in very close to Oren's numbers at 12 and 10,000 respectively. Yeah, so looking at LeBlanc, of course, LeBlanc, after she got to a certain point, it was competitive in the mid lane for a while. Dusab managing to trade well with Xanion, but then it got to a certain point. Xanion went, I believe it was top lane, and caught someone out in the river afterward, and managed to pick up 2, then 3 kills. Started to get the LeBlanc snowballing, and then it was all she wrote. Once it got to the point where Xanion could half health the Fed Volibear with one spell combo, then it really started to go downhill for Ferret. Anyway, I think, isn't that the last game?
That is the last game for tonight. I did get information that was an exhibition game. That in week 5, we are supposed to have Degenerate 5 versus the Fire Ferrets in a true game. This will not count towards the standings, as it was a fill-in game because Magic Conch Shell was unable to make it to tonight's games. So Degenerate 5 said, we'll play you in just a 1v1 game for the exhibition, kind of showing off where we stand currently. So there's the opportunity for Ferrets to still come back and win against them in the round robin games at a future time. Now, let's talk really briefly about the standings before we call it a quit tonight. As the current standings are Degenerate 5, 2 wins up, Fire Ferrets 1-0, Magic Conch Shell 1-0, Purpose Gamers tied up 1-1, Norse Code down 0-2, and Liquid Optimum 0-2 at the very last place. Obviously, Degenerate 5 and the Fire Ferrets have a huge advantage over the rest of the teams, but in this game, despite Fire Ferrets' lead, Degenerate 5 came back for a final win. Is that enough to truly feel confident this early on into the round robin to say that Degenerate 5 is going to be placing